not. It cannot be done. Because Yazid, the agent, does not have the ability to receive it. But if Allah were to do it, I'll be offended. How dare you do this? I'll say to Allah. But look at the man who was killed himself. Hussein ibn Ali says, oh Allah, if that is what you want, then that is how it will be. That is sincerity. That just shows that the inner idol in me is so great that I will question Allah. But Hussein ibn Ali, he is so liberated. Whatever Allah does, he will say, oh Allah, whatever you wish. Is that understood? I'm trying to point at something quite profound here. That in our own selves, we are nothing but our own gods. That even our Hussein, the one we venerate beyond Islam, is on my terms, not as he is. And look at those beautiful lovers of Hussein. On the day of Ashura, when Wahab's mother receives his cut head, she takes it into her lap, she cleans it and says, oh child, may Allah bless you. Then in a rage, she takes the head by the hair and flings it back and says, whatever I give in the way of Hussein, I will never take it back. Look at that level of inner liberation in the way in which he was dissolved in Hussein. I will say this, and I use the word I in a very humble capacity. I will say this, and go and read, inshallah, that those grand Sahabas of Hussein ibn Ali, they did not understand, in my opinion, the consequence of what they were going to do. They did not gauge the impact of what was going to happen after their grand sacrifice. All they knew was that this Hussein is our focal point. We are totally dissolved in him. We will live for him, we will die for him. 1,000 times we will be cut into pieces for him. We don't care after that whether we get heaven or hell. Whether Yazid reigns or Muawiyah comes and reigns once again, or the land is cleansed of Bani Umayyah. They were so sincerely drowned in Hussein that Hussein was their beginning and Hussein was their end. Had Hussein told them, I forgive my enemies, they would have said, oh master, when have we ever asked you of your decision? Just command us and we will do it. That is the level at which these grand people stood. They didn't even think about what was going to happen as a consequence of what they were doing. They were that sincerely drowned. Alaykum salam salawat. I forgot what time Muki told me to get off. They were that sincerely dissolved in Hussein ibn Ali. If this point has been clarified, please recite a loud salawat. By the tone of this salawat, I know there won't be any more objections afterwards, yes? This is loud enough, alhamdulillah. Now we go on with this sincerity, and we talk about this process of growth. Our whole thinking seems to be inaccurate. Look, when there is a class of children in a nursery, we express human truths to them in a language that is befitting for them. Yes? The intention is that as they evolve and grow, they will be able to purge themselves of the limitations of language and expression and arrive at the core of the meaning. The Prophet spoke with us 1,400 years ago in a language that was befitting for the human mind at the level at which it existed 1,400 years ago. The intention was that these children will grow up. They will break the boundaries of language and begin to understand the truth for what it is. But today, the children refuse to grow. They still analyze the same language. They are still working their ways around nursery rhymes, and they're still understanding it in a very literal fashion. They are refusing to grow up. They are refusing to evolve. There is a real process going on here in the world. A physical world, the physical process in the physical world, and a very subtle progression within the spiritual, non-physical world of the moral existence of a human being. When we tell, let's just explain this through sincerity, how we are to achieve this beautiful growth. When there is a child within the womb of its mother, this is all very hypothetical, okay? We say to the child, do good, you will get sawab. Do evil, and you will be punished. So the embryo, after conception, after 1 month, decides to become a good Muslim, or 2 months. It takes the tasbih and musalla and starts chanting the names of God, but doesn't evolve. When the 9 months are finished, the embryo comes into this world and is unable to sustain life because it's not sufficiently prepared for this world. It was supposed to grow hands and fingers, nose and limbs, heart and a brain. When we analyze the state of the embryo, we say, well, actually doing good for the embryo meant to complete its journey properly within the womb by growing itself physically. That was the meaning of thawab. Not putting himself on the musalla. The meaning of sin was that he restrains growing. The same thing is happening here in this world. The meaning of thawab is for us to become moral human beings. As we evolve in this life, we are supposed to become godly, so that when we take birth into the next world, we are capable and have ability and able enough to sustain the life of that world. Otherwise, we take birth as premature embryos in the next world. If the world before this world, the world of the womb, has suggested all of this, then why should the next world be any different? The meaning of thawab, therefore, is to become godly in this world, to remove all restrictions. As we grow older, a moral being is supposed to evolve. And when we breathe for the last time, a spiritual individual is supposed to go forth to Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. It is said about the next world that the greatest torment about the next world is not the angels, it's not the grave. Do you know what it is? It is beholding the majesty of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. Imagine an embryo, imagine a fetus within the womb of its mother. It is so comfortable within that little world of its that it imagines itself in an infinite universe. The beginning and end of its existence is in the womb of that mother. But as soon as it exits the womb, it sees, my God, this world is so huge. The awe of receiving this world, in which the womb of the mother seems so insignificant that it cries out. Of course, it's symbolic. The same is our state when we take birth into the real world, the spiritual world, the abstract world. That world is so immense that this world is unending universe in its entirety may seem as insignificant as the womb of our mothers. And that would be the greatest torment for this individual. The cry at the reception of this overwhelming beauty of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. So when we talk about sincerity and growth, we are talking about sincerity allowing a person to emerge as a godly person. Look at us. We recite Dua Kumail when we are 16. Then when we are 26, then 36, then 46, then 56. Have you ever seen a 76-year-old man